here we are going to take a look at integration. We're going to apply these rules to these questions here. So let's jump right into it. So we need to find out what is the integral of 10 dx. Now, the x simply means your answer should have x in it. So the integral of 10 dx, your answer should involve something with x. All right, so the integral of 1 is x plus c. The integral of e, where e could be any number, is ax plus c. All right, so we are going to use 1 and 2 is like the same thing. The first one is using actual number. The second one is using e, where e could be any number. Right, so they simply said the integral of any number, you multiply x by it and you add c. All right, there's a reason for that. So the answer for the first one is the integral of 10x. The integral of 10, sorry, is 10x plus c. My mind just ran into the answer one time. All right, 10x plus c, that's the answer. Now, if that's using the answer, if y is equal to 10x plus c, c is any number. So let me choose a number for c, 5, right? If I differentiate this here, I'm supposed to get back 10. So y prime is the differential of 10x. If you check out my differentiation video, the differential of 10x is 10, and the differential of a constant is 0. Right, so you get dy dx is equal to 10, which is the same as what you have here. All right, so I say the integral is like the opposite of differentiation. All right, let me erase that there. Here we have find the integral of 4x dx. So let's look. Here we have the integral of x to the power n, right? There's the rule here, you add 1 to the power and then you divide by the same power, right? Plus c. Plus c is important, right? Plus c is important. You have to have plus c unless you have limits. That's for another video. All right, so where n is not equal to 1, right? So where n is not equal, in this case, where n is not equal to -1, all right? So we have 4x dx. Find the integral of 4x dx. And that will be following the rule, x raised to the power 1. So you're writing 4x to the 1 plus 1 divided by 1 plus 1 plus c, right? So the rule is you add 1, and the same thing that you add here, you divide it by that, you add c. So the answer is 4x squared divided by 2 plus c, which is 2x squared plus c, right? Now, this is just for, real emphasizing purposes, because you could have gone from here, the integral of 4x dx is equal to 2x squared plus c. You could work certain things mentally, but as you get in the hang of it, follow the steps. And when you get the hang of it, you can work certain things mentally, right? And get the answer one time. Because some of the questions will be so complicated that you don't have time to work out all of this. You have to think certain things mentally. Very important. All right, so we have this one. The integral of, we have this in brackets, 3x cubed minus 6x to the power 4. All right, the integral of that. We're going to apply the same rule here, right? And this is like saying, what is the integral of 3x cubed dx minus the integral of 6x to the power 4 dx, right? You could write this and then work it out separately. You don't need to do all that, but you can, right? So the smart way to deal with it is go into the answer one time. You are going to integrate. You have to know that you have to integrate this first. So the integral of 3x cubed is equal to 3x to the power 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. We're going to it one time. Divided by 4 minus 6x to the power 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. Divided by 5 plus c. One time we get the answer, right? One time we get the answer. Now, if we could have let's say simplify, we would have had another line, let's just say, but this here is the answer. All right, so the next one, number 4, we're going a little faster now. This one we have to kind of pay a little attention. So the integral of this here. Now for this question here, right, for this question here, we have this in brackets and it's raised to the power plus 1. But if it's not raised to the power plus 1, in this case, which raised to the power 4, right, we have to do something different, right? I mean, you could expand this bracket, and after you expand the bracket, then find the integral of each term. That's long. Or you can treat this, come like you're treating this as x, and you say, you find out what's the integral of x to the power 4 dx. There's a substitution method you can use in order to do that. But I prefer to deal with the outside in, right? So the integral of, we deal with the outside, meaning we deal with this power outside. So the integral of 3x minus 5 to the power 4, right? We are going to deal with it one time. We put 3x minus 5, let me write that a little better, to the power 4 plus 1 over 4 plus 1, right? So you write on this, which is that there, power 4 plus 1 divided by power 4 plus 1. Now, what you have to do, you have to differentiate what's inside of here. And when you differentiate in it, you have to put it at the denominator, right? So the differential of 3x, you put open brackets, the differential of 3x is 3, minus the differential of a constant is 0. So you just put close brackets, right? This here is your answer, well, plus c, and you simplify. So this would be equal to 3x divided by 15 plus c. That's the answer right here. Simplifying is important. All right. Next one. So we are dealing with this here. So we see in a situation here, wait, but what's going on? Now try to simplify it first. All right. Try to simplify it first, depending on the level of mathematics you're doing, pure math. You may not have to use integration by parts and or integration by recognition, right? You can use or integration by observation, well, recognition, observation. All right. So in this case here, you can simplify and integrate. All right. So to simplify, we apply laws of indices. So we say x squared, this is multiplied by x to the power of a half dx. Square root of x is x to the power of a half, right? That is equal to x to the 2 plus a half is 2.5. And the 2.5 is equal to 5/2, right? The integral of x to 5/2 dx, right? So when you're multiplying laws of indices, you add the powers, right? You can check out my laws of indices video to be more familiar with this, right? So the integral of x to the 5/2. So from here, we made the question a lot easier to deal with, a lot easier, all right? So from here, we simply say, all right, x to the 5/2 plus 1 divided by 5/2 plus, I'm just going to put c there, yes, plus 1 plus c. All right, so there's the same format. This is like using this format here, right? And we continue. We will say 5/2 plus 1. Just give me a second. That is x to the 7/2 divided by 7/2 plus c, all right? And it's simply 2/7. 2/7 x to the 7/2 plus c, right? quick hint or quick hint here. If you have x divided by a fraction, a one-z fraction is an improper fraction, the number closer to the vinculum line or the divisor, that will be the denominator, 7. And this 2 here, you put it on top. Because if you just work out, let's say 1 divided by 7 over 2, change the division to multiplication and invert, right? So you see how you get that. So a simple observation that I make, I just, okay, this 7 will be the denominator and this 2 is on top. So rather than working out all of this, it's just an observation that I made and I apply, and you won't get it wrong once you apply correctly. All right. Next, we deal with this one here. So this is the answer right here. We deal with this one now. This one here. Now, as I said, make sure you make your life easy, right? Simplify first. So this, you could simplify this. And if you notice, laws of indices usually applies, right? So here, so you have to learn laws of indices really well. So here you can rewrite this and say, x to the right, so you can rewrite this and say this, right? This is equal to this. And when you divide in, you don't need to write this line, just emphasizing, when you divide in same variables, you will get right? So I'm just showing right now, this is really in brackets. Make a little brackets here. Right, so emphasizes the whole thing integrated. Right, so laws of indices, important. Let's make sure, verify, yes, and yes. So when you come here, this will be pretty simple now. So we have 10x to the negative 2 plus 1. Let's deal with it 1 time negative. 2 plus 1 is negative 1. Divided by negative 1 plus 5x to the negative 1 plus 1, that's 0. So any number raised to the power of 0 is 1. So 5x. I mean, you could put 1 to emphasize plus c. The reason why I just put 1 because I'm going to simplify this below here. If I wasn't going to simplify this at all, then I wouldn't have written 1. I could probably still do write 1, but I just wrote it there for emphasis. So the answer is negative 10x to the minus 1. Obviously, this could be written as negative 10 over x. You can do that, all right? It doesn't matter. Plus 5 plus c. And this here is your answer, right? Next one, right? So we have one more to go. We deal with this one here. And if you notice, the integral of 3 sine 2x minus 2 cos 4x, right? So we are dealing with these here. Remember, for differentiation, the differential of sine x is cos x. But for integration, the integral of sine x is negative cos x. So you have to make sure you remember that, right? The integral of cos x is sine x. But for differentiation, the differential of cos x is negative sine x. So you have to pay attention to the sign. All right, so we pay attention to the sign as we do this last question, right? So the integral of 3 sine 2x. So we're really focusing on the sine 2x. So I'm just going to write only 3. Right? The integral of sine 2x. So from our table here, the integral of sine x is negative cos x. So the integral of sine 2x is negative cos 2x. Right? Now we have to deal with this here. So when we differentiate 2x, we will get 2, but that we have to divide. So we divide it by 2. When we differentiate, usually we multiply, but with integration, we have to divide. So the integral, you put on the 3, the integral of sine 2x is negative cos 2x. And then we differentiate 2x, we get 2, and that is what we have to divide it by, right? Minus, we go in here, put on the 2, the integral of cos 4x. So the integral of cos x is sine x. So therefore, if the integral of cos x is sine x, the integral of cos 4x is sine 4x, right? And when you differentiate 4x, you will get 4, so you divide that by 4. Whatever is the differential answer, that is what you have to divide it by. Plus c. Make sure I put plus c. Make sure I put plus c, all right? So you're simplifying, we have negative 3 cos 2x divided by 2 minus sine 4x divided by 2 plus c. Number 2 to 2, 1, 2 to 4, 2. All right, straightforward. All right, so that's it as it relates to integration.